Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
Here we go. Draft day, Thursday, April 28th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. It is finally here. Good afternoon to you.
Man, the day is here. Excited to see who we take. Excited to see who everybody takes at this point. I don't know who's going to take who. I don't know what's up in the air. FanDuel, MyBookie, MGM Sportsbet. They keep changing their tallies on who's going to be number one, who's going to be two. It's a crapshoot, but guess what? It's my type of party.
Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you. You know, we talk about something for so long. I feel like we've been talking about this day for the last 4 months and a little bit even beyond that.
Absolutely. But
and now it's here.
Since the day after the Super Bowl, for sure, we've been nonstop. And now, what are we? How many hours away are we? 6 hours away. We're only 5 hours away from our draft party downtown at the Brass Rail. Make sure you join us there tonight. We're going to have a great time, and we're all going to be chipping in on the broadcast. I can't wait, man. I think there's going to be a lot of moves in this draft. And you guys sent me something earlier on Adam Schefter. Yeah. He said he's talked to an AFC or an NFC general manager that said this is the wildest draft in the last 30 years.
Here's the tweet right here. One veteran front office executive this morning, quote, "This is the craziest draft I've seen in 30 years," end quote. And it's something, Bray, we've been talking about for quite some time. I think, you know, we had Scott Bischoff on yesterday, our draft guru, and he said 1, 2, and 3 are going to be Trayvon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeau, Derek Stingley Jr. And I think,
which is a new order from what we've heard. It's an exciting new order.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that can turn the draft upside down. I mean, Stingley alone at 3. Aiden Hutchinson, the likely number 1 overall pick for so much of this time from the Super Bowl to the draft, leading up to the draft, and now he's going to fall out of the top 3. How much does he fall? Maybe. I mean, some people believe he's still going to be selected 2 by Detroit.
You know, you've seen a lot of crazy drafts before. You saw when LeVar Arrington in 1999-2000 basically told the Cleveland Browns, "Don't draft me," and they didn't. They drafted Courtney Brown. Eli Manning, 2004, he says the same thing. "Don't draft me." San Diego says, "F you." They draft him anyway, and then obviously they make the trade with Phillip Rivers. You can go back to 1983. Nobody knew where those quarterbacks were going in 1983. John Elway, another guy. I don't want to be there. If you're going to draft me to Baltimore, hell, I'll go play for the Yankees. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen, but that's just in 1, 2, 3 picks. This is a draft. Any of these guys could be 10 picks lower than where they're registered to be. This guy could be 10, this guy could be 30. Guy could be 1, guy could be 20. It's a crapshoot draft. That's why I can't wait to watch it.
And we've got a huge show for you today, guys. We're going to be joined by Lee Steinberg. He's had 8 different number 1 overall draft picks, 64 total first-round picks. He'll join us coming up at about 2:35 or so.
Will he show us the money?
Bill Kennist will join us. You know, been with the Lions organization for over 30 years. Lions historian, NFL game rep for the broadcasting department now. What's it like to be in a war room for so many years under so many different regimes? So we'll get his take on that. Braylon, you saw the helmet, the Lions sitting there. Welcome to the fabulous city of Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, it just feels like football, doesn't it?
It's big time. You know, this is a draft that everybody was excited for 2 years ago. Las Vegas was supposed to get the draft 2020. Obviously, COVID hit, so everybody drafted from home. So this has been 2 years in the making. It's Vegas, man. It seems like everything has been happening in Vegas since the Raiders got out there. I mean, you look at, you know, from wrestling events to Monday Night Football last year, the number 1 Monday Night Football, that game that I watched, Bruce Buffer opens up the season at Allegiant Stadium. Everything is there. NHL All-Star Game was there this year. You saw the shootout on the pond in front of the Bellagio Fountain, where the players will be drafted in front of that Bellagio Fountain. They'll be canoed up. Does somebody fall in? I don't know.
You know,
or jump in.
Right, no doubt. One of the things about this day, too, and we fans focus mainly on our teams and players that go to our school, like a Hutchinson, like a Dax Hill, Kenneth Walker, whoever the case may be. But so much of tonight is about the lifelong dream of these players, what their families have been through to help get that individual to the stage tonight in Las Vegas. I just break, and I've asked you this before, but the morning of the draft, what was it like for you? What do you recall about that moment? Because I have to imagine a lifelong worth of work goes into something, and then all of a sudden it's over within the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is it being over in the blink of an eye. You know, you're talking about just a long process. You know, you talk about my first 3 years in high school, not knowing if I was going to make it to Michigan, and then getting a scholarship to go to Michigan. Then my first year not making it at Michigan, and then eventually making it. Now I'm a draft pick. Now I'm a high draft pick. I stay my senior year. I come back. Now I'm a top 5 draft pick. Then I'm 1. Then I'm 10. Then I'm 13. Then I'm 2. As we're watching mock drafts from January of 2005 all the way up until draft day, which was April 23 in my case. So you just never know, man. And you go to the draft, you know, the talk is there. You see the billboards, you get excited. And then you wake up on that Saturday. That's when the draft was back in Saturday. Half the draft was Saturday, half the draft was Sunday.
That's the best, too.
That was the best.
About that.
That's the best. Half was Saturday, half was Sunday. You just wake up in the room to yourself. I was by myself. To yourself, and you just, man, this is, now the nerves start to kick in. Because now the nerves start kicking. You don't know exactly where you're going to go. You don't know where that draft is going to be. So the nerves kick in. But when you got family around you like I did, I had a lot of family at that draft. We just made the most of it. We had fun. And luckily, I wasn't on the clock too long.
I want to play this video for you. This is Mel Kiper on ESPN as you get drafted by the Browns. This is the Mel Kiper breakdown
05.
of the 3rd overall pick in the 05 draft, Braylon Edwards.
Will make an impact right away.
And playing in the Big Ten in Michigan, I mean, he understands what the weather's going to be like in Cleveland and in that division.
No question about it. You look at Braylon Edwards, and it may sound like I've been bashing Bray. It's not the case. I had to separate Mike Williams and Braylon Edwards. It was a hard call. I went with Mike Williams. He's still on the board. Braylon isn't. He's a Cleveland Brown. He's got Kellen Winslow at tight end. Now you add Braylon Edwards to that mix. You look at a kid, 6'3", 210, big, competitive, works hard. He's a great kid. I had a chance to talk to he and his father, Stanley Edwards, here in New York. Loves to play the game, works at it hard. And you talk about some of those drops. It's like a home run hitter. You're going to get strikeouts, but you'll get home runs. You'll get a lot of touchdowns with Braylon. When do those drops occur? Are they drive killers? They drop one in the red zone. Where do they occur? Are they inconsequential drops? Any drop can be inconsequential, but he did have a problem in that area. Ohio State game, huge effort with 10-plus catches, but the key drop when they were getting momentum, Michigan was to get back in the football game around midfield, the drop, then the punt. They never seized the opportunity to get back in that football game. And like, if Braylon can increase the concentration level, it's not about hand-eye coordination. He's phenomenal in that area. It's not about natural pass receiving skills. He is unmatched in that area. It's about concentration, and he knows that. I'll tell you, he's not defensive for you about criticism. He handles criticism well. You bring it up with him, he doesn't challenge and say, no, you're wrong. He says, I know, I got to work on that. It's about concentration. Can a receiver, Torrey, who drops some catchable balls because of concentration problems in college, improve that at the pro level?
I think so. I think the quarterback, the receiver coach would have to continue to make that a point for Braylon Edwards to work on his consistency of catching the football. And he's a great kid. He likes to learn. He wants to be good. You talk to him, he wants to be the best receiver in the National Football League. He wants to be a Pro Bowler right now. So he's going to make the necessary changes and steps to be.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see that video?
I still can't believe Miami didn't take me at 2. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it, man. It was. I think it was also that all they talked about was taking me. They had Nick Saban. Everybody came to the combine. I mean, to my pro day. Everybody was there. GM Rick Spielman was the GM. He threw the ball in my pro day.
That. He might be here soon.
So I know, right? I heard about that.
Yeah.
So and then they had somebody call me when the Dolphins were on the clock. These are 15-minute rounds, 15-minute picks. They called me around 11 minutes. Hey, is this your cell phone? Blah, blah, blah. And then they didn't drive you. No, but that's just joking. In all honesty, just a great moment, man, that my family got to share in. Had a lot of family there, cousins. I mean, look at the picture. I mean, the picture says it all. You got agents, you have uncles, aunties, cousins, grandmothers, plurals, 2 moms, 2 dads, and a partridge in the family tree. So it was fun, but they got to share in the moment. The moment wasn't just me on stage. The moment was the whole family because they all helped me get there.
So, you consider what some of these young men and their families tonight on that stage. That's just one of the things that I take away from a night like tonight. We're going to be focused on the teams and the lines and who they're picking and stuff, but it is so cool to consider what those families and players went through.
Did you hug it out with Tagliabue, or did you shake his hand?
So that's funny. Like, I've been watching this new, the thing that they're talking about now. A lot of guys are they're hugging now. Yeah. Big hugs. Guys are jumping up. They have handshakes and all those things. I went in. I wish they had the video. I went in with an aggressive handshake. Yeah. Because I'm a hugger type. Yeah. I was excited. I waited for this moment forever.
That's how we greet each other every day.
So it was like my handshake was aggressive, and I was trying to get to the hug. And Paul Tagliabue, a 6'6" guy, played basketball at Georgetown. He kept me at a distance, but he was very embraceful afterwards. So wish I could have got the hug.
Sweet,
but I think I started the trend a little bit.
You might have.
Speaking of families, Braylon's mom remembers that day. I want to bring her in.
I know you didn't call Mom.
We did. We called Mom.
Mama,
Melissa Plater, I want to bring you in. Melissa, how you doing?
Hey there, Ryan. I'm doing great.
Look at that. See what we got for you?
Hey, Mom.
You guys are crazy.
Mom, what do you remember about that night in 2005? We just showed the picture. We'll show it again after Braylon got drafted. What did that night mean to you as a family and you as a mom?
The night that he got drafted, or the night before?
The night he got drafted.
The morning.
Or the morning of.
The morning.
Anything you recall about that morning?
Oh, I recall it all. I wish I could do it all over again. A lot of nerves, a lot of happiness, a lot of prayers, just ecstatic. We were totally ecstatic. Sitting in the green room, waiting for his name to be called. It was sheer happiness.
Hey, talk about the moment, Mom. Talk about a couple things. Talk about Charles Woodson in the green room, how that was a funny story. Talk about the Miami Dolphins did call me. Okay. We talked about that. And then also, Aaron Rodgers, you were there for all of that as well.
Oh, yeah. I can talk about the green room. I could talk about sitting there in the green room waiting for you to be called, waiting for the phone to come over to our table, sitting there with Charles Woodson when the security tried to kick him out, and he kept saying, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good." And they kept saying, "You have to go." And he said, "Trust me, I'm good." They didn't know who he was. So he was sitting at our table. We just knew you were going to Miami. And when the phone rang the second time and Ronnie Brown is sitting to the right of us and he picks up the phone, we're like, what the heck?
No way.
Yeah. It was like really emotional, man. Like, I got a video of it too, and you can watch us all at the table because NFL Network, this is when they first were doing that series, Hey Rook, when they were just kind of chronicling from January to the draft. And you can see us. Like, we're all shocked. We're all surprised. We're all looking at each other. My mom's talking to my agent like, so what does that mean now? It's a real deal. That's how I know those feelings. That's how I know how they try to manipulate the pick and say, hey, this is who we want. They try to manipulate it so they can get you come up, get your draft picks, and then draft who they really want if you don't want to do that. So it was a nerve-wracking time.
Hey, Mom, where did you want him to go? What team did you want him to go?
Not Cleveland.
Chicago, right.
Go ahead. What place?
Yeah, I wanted Chicago, fourth.
Yeah.
I wanted him to go to Chicago, but that's where, that's what Cedric Benson went fourth, but that's where I wanted Braylon to go.
Rest in peace. See, she knows. She remembers like the back of her hand.
I'm telling you.
I do.
That is so fun. I just, because I was telling these guys that, the families, too, it means so much to everybody that's involved in this group of players who will be there tonight, and even beyond, even the undrafted guys, too. I mean, everything goes into tonight and this weekend. And Braylon, I dropped my pen. This is what a smooth guy this cat is. I just dropped my pen. He slides this pen over so I can have it. Amen. What a guy you raised over there, Ma.
No, dreams come true. We just knew our dreams that came true. So that was like an amazing moment.
Did you tell him what you wanted him to wear on stage? Or did he pick out his outfit?
Oh, no. He had clothiers, people coming out of the Woodward wanting to dress him so he could shout them out.
Around the corner, shout out to Renard Hines over there at Chiquini. They're right around the corner here in Birmingham. So shameless plug right there.
Wanted to dress him.
Yeah.
Well,
Daniel wanted to dress him and all that. Mm-hmm.
Do you still pay attention to the draft, Mom?
I used to, but he's gotten so far removed. I only watch the Michigan players now.
All right.
She was heavy watching when Donovan Peoples-Jones was getting drafted. She was heavy a part of that process. She watched all in the living room. She watched the combine. She watched his 40. She watched him raw across stage. So she's very supportive of the Michigan players and Big Ten. She knows Big Ten.
So she'll be watching for Aiden Hutchinson.
Poor guy happened to go to Cleveland too.
Yeah, and I called him and I told him about it. Him and Jabril Peppers. Jabril realized when it was over.
It used to be. Yeah, Cleveland isn't as bad as it used to be. If somebody goes to Cleveland now, they have a chance to win as opposed to the Lions or Jaguars. So, it'll be a good thing. Wherever they go, you just have to get off the board.
Well, Ma, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for all the support, and thanks for sharing Braylon with us. It's just so awesome sharing these memories, too, going down memory lane. Something that guys like me and Maz will never experience.
Hey, Ma, and thanks for telling Braylon not to yell at me and pick on me. Thanks for telling him not to pick on me.
I love the show. You guys are doing a great job. I listen every day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Melissa Plater. Thanks so much, Mrs. Plater. So that's great going down memory lane right there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, what you see, what you hear on the phone, what you hear in her memories and her moments is what you see in that picture. It's a lot of love, a lot of appreciation, and like you said, dreams do come true.
So we've got a couple of things going right now. Lee Steinberg, the real life Jerry Maguire, you know him for sure. He's going to join us at 2:35. In the meantime, Kayvon Thibodeau news heating up. He talked about the encounter with Dan Campbell. Also, Braylon is going to give you the top 10 Lions draft picks of all time. So we've got a lot going on.
Oh, I know who's not on the list.
I know what number 1 is.
Somebody may not make the list, is all I'm saying.
Joey Harrington?
Stay tuned for that. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message from MyBookie.
You know MyBookie. How many times do I talk about it? MyBookie.com. I go right to my phone. Just yesterday when we had Scott Bischoff on, he says number 1's Trayvon Walker. What do? I go in, put my little Woodward password in there, and boom, I'm betting on Trayvon Walker. And, of course, to the Lions, Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm betting that he is the number 2 pick of the draft this year. You can get involved as well. The NBA playoffs in full swing, too. Baseball, full slate of games. The Tigers are playing right now. They're down 2-0. Hopefully you didn't bet on them today. Hopefully they didn't come back. MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.com. Use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey gang, I want to tell you about Wingsnob. That's right, fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wingsnob has the best traditional wings. Try out those signature sauces, Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. Wings tossed to perfection in any sauce you pick. Where the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online and look for a location near you. Wingsnob.com, Wingsnob.com. We just have better wings. Woodward Sports Network, we got our draft party tonight, too. We invite everybody out to that, Maz. Going to be fun tonight at the Brass Rail.
Looking forward to it. We're all going to be down there. We're all going to take a segment of picks, try to break it down, try to make some good guesses. And hell, man, if you're down there with us and you want to get on the air, we've got our gang down there ready to interview you and get you on live. It'll be live on YouTube as well as woodwardsports.com and our app. I can't wait. It's my second favorite day of the year, Super Bowl being one.
Do you think it is a done deal? And I believe the only thing we know about the NFL draft is that Trayvon Walker is going to go number 1. Do we feel confident in saying Trayvon Walker to the Jags at 1? Are we confident about that?
Well, I look at the Vegas line, and that's what I'm mainly looking at. I'm not looking at all the pundits, everyone that's done their mock drafts.
Right.
It's all guesses. Yeah, you get some inside information. We hear our Scott Bischoff get some inside information. That could be smokescreen as well. But he is at minus 300. That is a 3-1 favorite to be the first pick in the draft. Trayvon Walker's gone from mid-pack to all of a sudden he's the number one guy. And then the word on the street is Thibodeau is going to be number 2, and he fell in love with Uncle Brad Holmes, right?
That's right, and I want to play some of that for you now. This is from Josina Anderson, NFL reporter. She had a sit-down with Kayvon Thibodeau. So much talk about, Thibodeau isn't a Brad Holmes guy, or excuse me, isn't a Dan Campbell guy. Like that would ever get out if it was true. Right. If it was true, it probably wouldn't have gotten out.
It wouldn't have been said to me. Yeah, true.
Wouldn't have been out. But here's his take on that encounter.
All right, so General Manager Brad Holmes from the Lions recently said that obviously he watched your games at Oregon and he also came to your pro day. It was very important for him to be in person, and if he had any questions to ask that, face to face. Can you tell us a little bit more about that interaction?
Hey, it was funny when you talk about, and that's the craziest thing about media, because it came out that Brad Holmes is not high on I don't know who they said. Yeah. Listen, if you were at that meeting, it was like my uncle at a cookout. Like we're we're giggling, we're clowning, we're really getting to know each other and build a relationship. So, we hit it off. I feel like it was great. I feel like, he's and not just him, but every coach that I met with became a mentor of mine because I took heed to the information they had. Learn and apply is everything. So just getting that game and taking it with me.
So that's Kayvon Thibodeau, and there's a lot of talk. He's been mentioning Detroit a lot lately, and I think that turns the draft on its head. I really do. The pick at 2. Todd McShay came out with his final mock draft today. I know Mike O'Hara from DetroitLions.com came out with his mock. Dave Burkett came out with his mock. Some of the guys that are close to the Lions organization. All 3 of those men have Aiden Hutchinson slotted to Detroit at number 2.
They do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think they're necessarily buying into, Aiden just being up the street, it being a feel-good story, a home-good story. Not to mention he's a damn good player. He was up for a Heisman, 14 sacks last year, broke Michigan's all-time record. Listen, I get all that. With Kayvon Thibodeau, he's telling you, Brad Holmes is like the uncle at the family barbecue. He's telling you in so many words, wink, wink, we bonded. We bonded. They've talked to him quite a bit. This is an individual that they've talked to on 4 or 5 separate occasions, and not just all together. Everybody talking to him individually, trying to get a better feel for him. I think it's a guy that they like a lot, and I think he's the guy that they believe can be a special player, because I think that's what you're looking at it too. I think that's what you're looking at it too. So whatever the eyes of, the top 5 guys in the NFL draft, the top 5 franchises, whatever your eyes is telling you, this is the guy. This is the special guy. You got to draft that guy. And if Kayvon Thibodeau is that guy, then go ahead and draft him and let's get this party started.
I'll tell you, as much as I like Aiden Hutchinson, and I really do, and I think he's going to be a terrific pro, I don't like the hometown thing. I just don't. I got a bad taste in my mouth from the last couple that the Lions have had here. I know everyone will say, Dylan Larkin. He's doing well. Not doing outstanding, but he's doing well. Hockey's a different sport. This is football. And I'd rather see him go somewhere else to spread his wings. I don't think staying in town would be the best thing for him. That's why, you know what, man? You got me, Bray, this week on, and Burkett's been popping him, man. Jermaine Johnson. I just look at him and what he did at Georgia, or was it Auburn?
Florida State?
It was Georgia, and then
Florida State.
Georgia, and then Florida State,
He just keeps doing.
Yeah.
And I know the Jets are in love with him, and they're sitting there in the 5 hole. Or are they 4? I forget. 4 or 5.
Jets are 4.
4 I don't
10,
know.
I think.
And Thibodeau, I love his personality. Yeah. We don't have a guy on the Lions with that type of personality.
No, it's a big personality.
He seems like a leader. I like all those guys. I just don't want Hutchinson here as the hometown guy. I just don't like it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, you got to have a guy that people can follow. Not everybody's meant to be a leader, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of generals, there are a lot of soldiers, but there's only one commander of the Army, and that could be a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, big personality. But I like what he backs up on the field. I like his intangibles, and I also I like him as a player. So with that being said, that's the big personality. But you never know. You never know what somebody's going to do. I remember in 2007, the Miami Dolphins were 11th on the clock. They were talking quarterback. They hadn't had a quarterback in years.
Since
legitimately,
Marino.
They get on the clock. Guess who's there? Brady Quinn is there. Standout at Notre Dame. Our guy on the show. They decided to go with Ted Ginn. A position that they didn't even need and didn't work out for them. So you just never know what's going to happen when teams get on the clock.
Especially Miami.
Coming up next, Braylon is going to give you the top 10
there you go.
Lions draft picks of all time. We'll do
Should
that.
Be fun.
But first, a message from SMA.
SMA has been here to support Notables and over the last decade, SMA has been here to support against mental health as well as substance abuse disorder. What SMA has done, sports marketing agency with Sean Jordan, NFL alumni, has been amazing, working with individuals like Lomas Brown, who might be on my list, Michael Evie, Devin Gardner, former Michigan great. He's done so much in the community. Also started a podcast here called This Is the F Word, and the F word is for fentanyl. Please go to The Sports MA if you think you might need some questions, if you might have some answers about what we are doing. TheSportsMA.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Right back here, Woodward Sports Network, having a lot of fun today. It is draft day. First round of the NFL draft takes place tonight, 8 o'clock. And we'll be down at the Brass Rail. We invite each and every one of you out to the Brass Rail in downtown Detroit, just off of Woodward there.
Detroit.
Thanks, Tom Mazawey. Just off of Woodward. We'll be down there for the draft. We'll have a show. Everybody will be there from Woodward Sports. And we, like I said, we certainly invite you out as well. Tonight is the night that we anticipate the Lions are going to get better, but the Lions have made picks before, some good, some not so good. Braylon Edwards here now. We've got you the top 10 Lions draft picks of all time, and will one of these players tonight join these guys on any list?
I pray.
So coming to me, so these will be the top 10 players. This is just in my opinion that the Detroit Lions have drafted overall. Coming in at number 10 on the board. Where did I start with number 10? I'm missing.
The top
10, I know, right? Oh, that's right, because I'm splitting up. Coming in at number 10, Chris Spielman, The Ohio State. That's right. Chris Spielman, put him on the board, top 10 number off. Chris Spielman, The Ohio State, drafted. Where was Chris drafted over here?
Second
Chris drafted he was drafted number 29 overall, 1988, 1,363 tackles, first all-time, 4 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Team Pro. Coming in number 9, Robert Porsche, South Carolina.
94.
Number 20.
Is he still the sack leader?
1992. 95.5 career sacks, makes him number 1 all-time. Played at a time when Detroit couldn't win playoff games, so he doesn't get the love he deserved. 3 Pro Bowls. You got it for me, buddy. Number 8. You know this guy. He's also a number 2 overall. Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh, number 8 overall. Rookie of the year. Also first team All-Pro as a rookie. 4-time Pro Bowler while he was here. 4-time All-Pro while he was here. 2 first, 2 second. Coming in at number 7, Herman Moore. You know he was going to be in somewhere. You knew the H-Man was going to be in somewhere. Got to have a wide receiver in there. Herman Moore, number 10 overall, 1991 out of Virginia. He was a 7-foot high jumper, just like his protege, Michigan Braylon Edwards.
Still has the records.
6 Pro Bowl, and he was one of the best wide receivers in the 90s. He has the stats to be a Hall of Famer.
Should be a Hall of
Fame. Where you at on that one? Calvin, Herman Moore, number 7. Number 6, coming in, Billy Sims. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Heisman Trophy winner, Billy Sims, the second man to wear number 20 here for the Detroit Lions. You talk about a what-if story. If he does not mess his knee up, I don't know if Barry has all the records for the Detroit Lions. 3-time Pro Bowler, rookie year, 1,300 yards, as well as over 13 touchdowns, makes 14.
Look at that beautiful jersey.
Look how beautiful it is. I thought it was Barry when I was younger.
Gorgeous.
Coming in at number 5, Lomas Brown.
the lowdown.
Big Lomas. Lomas is another friend of the show, number 75. That man blocked everybody. Did it for 19 years. 7 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl, 1 All-Pro appearance.
Look at that face
the man
mask.
was amazing. And guess what? All 7 of those Pro Bowls, back to back to back.
Guess what? He's going in the Hall of Fame this year.
First rounder out of Florida, 1988. There he is,
The
Lomas
Bubbles the
Brown.
Lion.
Coming in, number 4, Lim Barney.
Number
Another
20.
number 20. The original number 20. Lim Barney coming in. Lim Barney, the original number 20. Rookie year. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. 10 interceptions as a rookie. Returned 4 of them for touchdowns. Finished his career with 56 interceptions. Only behind Dick LeBeau. Yeah, that Dick LeBeau that's still coaching. Shout out to Lim Barney. As he always
Former
says,
Lion.
love. Number 3 coming in from the Big Ten, Alex Karras.
Whoa!
Alex Karras
Mongo.
out of Iowa. Number 3. Look at the big guy.
Mongo.
And if he looks familiar, that's because he also was he's also an actor as well.
Webster.
But
That was his
Alex
dad.
Karras, 4-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, 1960s All-Decade team. Then he goes into acting. Alex Karras was a man
Suspended
child.
for gambling.
And then number 2, was suspended for gambling, to be honest. Number 2,
Put him in the Hall.
you guessed it. He was drafted number 2. He's the other guy, Calvin
Yes.
Johnson.
Whoa!
Mega.
What do I need to look at the flex? Look at the flex.
Mega.
Look at the flex. What do I need to say about Calvin Johnson, a.k.a. Megatron?
Pay him.
You've said it all. Pay the man. You still owe him $1.7 million. Pay this man. He's done amazing things. No need for the stats because we just read it. And then number 1, coming in, Barry Sanders. This is easy.
Barry freaking Sanders.
One of 2 players to have 10,000-yard seasons in a row. Only played 10
incredible.
years. You know why he left. Bobby Ross kissed my ass. Just amazing.
I don't coach that
Just
stuff.
amazing what Barry Sanders did. You know the stats. You can look them up. But you notice somebody's name didn't get called.
Remember there was a guy.
There was a
his
guy.
name is Matthew Stafford.
Matthew?
Not on your list. Is he number 11?
So when I did my list, Matthew Stafford is number 12, actually. Benny Blades is number 11 on my list. I love Benny Blades, have him 12. Matthew Stafford didn't make this list. This list is made by Hall of Famers. This list is made by consistent Pro Bowl players. And this list is made by people that won in the playoffs or at least got to the playoffs. Can't have a guy on there that doesn't have better stats than him as it relates to winning and usage points. So.
I don't have one argument for you.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Not
hard.
one.
It's hard to argue that,
Trust
right?
me, even as I put him on the sheet,
Great
and I was
job.
trying to lobby him in there. I was trying to say, well, maybe I tie him at 10, but
Would you, I guess the only where I would swap you out, and I think the only argument in this could be made is that he should replace Ndamukong Suh.
I can't go that far because Ndamukong he was only here 5 years.
He changed our team.
He was only here 5 years. In 5 years, he made 4 Pro Bowls. But guess what? 4 All-Pros, and then Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then First Team All-Pro as a rookie. His presence was felt in his 5 years. I can't take Matthew Stafford off of that.
And how many times did he
just
bite
talked
and
me
kick
in?
somebody?
No. See, his argument, backing up his argument, just totally convinced me. But I was just trying to walk through where Stafford could get in because he meant a lot to the franchise.
I got him at 10.
And a lot of it is not his fault. So the reason why he's on here is not necessarily all his fault. But I can't take any of these guys. Hell, you got another guy that I didn't put up here. If you follow football way back in the day, Charlie Sanders is in the Hall of Fame.
One of the greatest tight ends
He's
of all
one of the
time.
greatest tight ends of all time. He's in the Hall of Fame, and I didn't have him on here. So this is, like I said, my list, my ways, my apologies. But that's what you got. Braylon Edwards, top 10 Detroit Lions drafted of all
Well done.
time.
It's pretty good. What do you think of that, Maz?
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I would have made Matthew Stafford 10B, but then he brought up Charlie Sanders. What the hell?
Right.
Charlie Sanders has got to be in the top 10.
No doubt. We got a little role reversal. How's it feel down there, Bray?
Oh, man, this is good. I fall asleep down here. Hold on. We had a meeting. Let me get nice and tight for our meeting. But it's cool back here, man. I fall asleep.
You got that block of cocaine there from Adam.
I want nothing to do with that, man.
What is that?
I don't know
This
what
is
draft
Adam-
the cocaine is,
Adam
but
Bay
that's what it
Jones.
is.
Does anybody know what that means?
He's been having fun with the cocaine for about the last week or two.
Wait till you see him tonight.
He's going in, so it's going to be fun. He'll explain more when we see him at the Brass Rail at 7:30.
He's coming as Tony Montana.
I mean, are you literally walking into the brass rail with that thing? You get arrested.
He's
Not
got
me,
a bunch
no,
of them.
no.
He's got a bunch of blocks.
Yeah,
of
not
them.
me. I'm sorry. This is Adam's thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Guys, we're really excited. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to Lee Steinberg, 8 former number 1 overall draft picks, 64 first-round picks. Bray, do you have you had any encounters with Lee Steinberg?
I've run into him a couple times at various events during Super Bowl or during draft processes. I've talked to him once. I think I have talked to him once. I know Warren Moon is a representative of Lee Steinberg, and when I was coming out, Warren reached out to me end of January 2005 during the process already on behalf of Lee Steinberg. But by then I was already
locked and loaded.
I was locked and loaded because I also almost came out my junior year. So I pretty much already knew who I wanted. So he would have had to be in that conversation in November, December, and he wasn't. But great guy. I have nothing but the highest regard for him. And all the players I know that are represented by him or that have been represented by him, nothing but great stories.
Absolutely.
And I believe he represents Patrick Mahomes.
He does.
Yeah, I mean
that's a nice little chunk of change.
That was really, kind of his comeback tour as well, inking a guy like Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
he had some issues in his career. He stepped away from being an agent for a while.
He did.
Comes back. He's coming back strong, and he is the reason we talk about agents. He's the first super agent that was ever mentioned. He's Jerry Maguire. They made a movie about him.
He's definitely a mega agent, and the reason why he stepped away is if you saw in the movie. He was just doing everything. He was a part of a machine, and he had a ton of individuals that he represented. You can't be that personable if you're representing 40, 50, 60 people. You see the incident in the hospital. I don't know if that happened for real, but I'm sure there were instances like that which make you want to step away, reassess, and then now you keep a lower clientele. Maybe you represent 5 clients a year. Maybe you represent 8. But what he was representing, I think, was too much.
Where would Rod Tidwell go tonight?
Rod Tidwell would be great, man. He's got an attitude like Kayvon Thibodeau. He can catch the ball. He's in traffic, out of traffic. He can stretch the field. He would be a guy that would be considered maybe along the lines of like a Garrett Wilson.
Give me his favorite line. Let's hear it.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
He said, "Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?"
Go ahead. Show me the money.
So we'll talk to the super agent Lee Steinberg. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. You've got to make a plan, though. They've got allocation coming in for lease and purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford, though, also over 350 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on them. So they're like new. For more, visit LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
We'll be right back.
32 teams. 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Flannel Sam in the house as well. A couple of minutes, we're going to give you a look at what Flannel Sam is wearing. And if you want to know, you could quickly go to Twitter and check that out. We've got a video of him walking into the studio today.
So 2 things. One, my mom said something funny just now. Remember we were trying to get in touch with her?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why she wasn't picking the phone up, she was watching the video of Mel Kiper talk about the draft.
Oh
back
my
in
gosh, that
2005.
is so funny.
So, but yeah, with Matt Stafford, and I know we got Lee Steinberg, so let's get him on the phone. It's more important. I just also, he was drafted #1 overall. He never won a playoff game in 12 years. I know it's not his fault, but when you're drafted #1 overall, you got to do something.
You're right, man.
Yeah,
There's no one on your list I would take off.
Yeah.
Good list, Braylon.
And
Hey,
Charlie Sanders.
guys, let's bring him on right now. He is the CEO of Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, the real-life inspiration of the movie Jerry Maguire. 8 different #1 overall draft picks, 64 total first-round picks, negotiated $4 billion in contracts. What hasn't this guy done? Just a pleasure to speak with Mr. Lee Steinberg. Mr. Steinberg, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for the time.
Happy to be with you.
On draft day, Lee, talk to me about what some of these players are going through, some conversations that you would have with your players, who's going where. What is it like for an agent and the player on draft day?
Well, the first key is to have relationships with owners, general managers, coaches, so that you get the real inside concept of who they're really interested in. So if you've done that correctly, the key to getting drafted is to have one team have so much passion that they'll go up and pick you and maybe move in around to pick you. It's not to have a lot of teams think you're pretty good. So you're looking for that information. If I have that, then I can prepare a player adequately. Now, this is different than public information. There's a generalized amnesty for truth-telling for NFL executives in the weeks coming up to the draft, right? They don't want other teams publicly to understand what their strategy is. So it's really hard to discern if you're trying to follow it publicly. But we, if you're going to have Tua Tagovailoa drafted, you know that there are 3 or 4 teams that are telling you they're going to pick him. And so you can prepare your player and start the draft that way. Now, draft time is not real time. It's water torture time. So every minute between picks is every second will seem like a minute, every minute will seem like an hour. It's just drip, drip, drip. And so the tension ratchets tighter and tighter. This is the fruition of everything this athlete has done since Pop Warner football, all discipline, hard work, surrounded either in a green room with a number of other draftees or at home in a big party. And so at this point, most of our clients, well, Patrick Mahomes, for example, decided to stay home on draft day so he could have every single friend around him that was part of the process, his pastor, his high school coach. And so some of the players choose not to go to Las Vegas. So I'd probably be at someone's home, and again, you're giving them the best information you have. So on Mahomes, you knew there were 2 or 3 teams that were especially interested. They were talking about trading up. As long as I don't cross-fertilize that, I can give that to a player and his parents, and they have a rough sense of what's up. Years ago, Ben Roethlisberger was called by the general manager, by the coach of the New York Giants, and said, if the Eli Manning trade doesn't happen with Phillip Rivers before our pick, we're taking you, Ben. Well, I knew that it was pretty clear to me that the Giants coveted Manning and that the Chargers had worked out Phillip Rivers when they coached the Senior Bowl, and there was no way he was going. But now you're sitting in the green room, and at that time, 15 minutes are going off. So with 14 minutes and 50 seconds, the trade goes through, and then the next 2 teams I can find for Ben that said they'd take him were Pittsburgh. So it ended up wonderfully, but at the moment it was edgy.
Talking to Lee Steinberg. Lee, you mentioned Patrick Mahomes, one of your clients. You say that, you've got a pretty good idea, maybe 2 or 3 teams that are really going to be in on him. At that point, does a guy like Mahomes or yourself say, man, I really hope, you can get a deal done with Kansas City instead of, I'm just throwing a team out there like Jacksonville or Detroit. We don't want to go to those 2 places. How much selling do you have to do at that point to get, Kansas City, one of 3 teams that were in on Mahomes, to take him?
Well, I've done this for so long. Woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers were roaming the earth when I started back in 1975, that I have relationships with owners. And what you're looking for a key player is, if it's a quarterback, you're looking for a place with ownership that has a long-term plan and stability, with a front office that's a genius in evaluating players and working with the cap, a coach that's got a system, and a supporting cast with an offensive line and the right receiving corps that's going to allow that player to be successful. So I'm less concerned that a player go number 1 or 2 or 3 in the draft than I am that they go to a franchise where you're going to have long-term success. You might have 5 really happy moments on draft day because you were the first pick, but then you're Trevor Lawrence and you went to Jacksonville and, you're running for your life. And so at that point, I'm selling as hard as I can to try to get those teams that are perpetual winners. Look at Roethlisberger retires. He plays 18 years, and he never had a losing season. Now, that's not what parity was designed to do, right, with a salary cap and the reverse order and the draft and the rest of it. So when you get an organization like that, that's where you want to be.
Lee Steinberg here. Braylon Edwards here. How you doing, Lee? I don't know if you remember
Braylon,
me.
how are you?
I'm doing good, Mr. Steinberg. How are you?
Good. Speaking of high-round draft picks.
How's Warren doing?
Warren is excellent. He just had his jersey. They just did a mural at his high school, so we went to a big unveiling. But he's doing fabulous.
Good. We got to get him on the show, too. I'm going to switch gears for you, Lee. I'm going to take it more so to the Jim McGuire side of things. I read somewhere, and I could be wrong, that while you were filming and before you guys were filming for it, Cameron Crowe followed you around. And so a lot of the quotes that come into the movie out of the mouth of Dickie Fox, came from Cameron Crowe, which came from you. So I hope these 3 come from you, because I literally have been living by them since I saw the movie. 1, key to this business is personal relationships, which I definitely agree to be true. 2, unless you love everyone, you can't sell anyone. I hope that one's true, because that one's just so much fun. And then the last one, if this is empty, then this doesn't matter. Talk to me. Please tell me that these came from you.
Well, I agreed with Cameron. I wouldn't talk about all the stories I told him, but add to that, the most important skill in life is listening. If you can draw out another human being and cut deep below the surface so that you understand their greatest anxieties and fears and greatest hopes and dreams and bond on a deep level, you can put yourself into another person's heart and mind and see the world the way they see it. Then you can navigate your way through life gracefully. So Cameron went wherever I went. He went to the 93 draft, which had Drew Bledsoe, my client, as the first pick. He came up to the press conference we had with Bill Parcells. He came to league meetings where I was showing free agents off in Palm Desert. He came to pro scouting day at USC, number of different games, Super Bowl parties, spent time in my office. And I told him stories, lots and lots of stories. And then I had to vet the script to make sure that the willing suspension of disbelief that holds you in a motion picture, so you know, as someone who understands football, that people talk that way and the look is right, and I had to make sure of all of that. And So now it's been 25 years, and every time I walk into an airport or go out to dinner, someone comes up to the table or walks up to me and either says to me or asks me to say those 4 words that start with, "Show me the."
we wouldn't do you like that, Lee. Real quick, too, I appreciate that. So much is made about Aaron Donald, obviously trying to dethrone Lawrence Taylor or Reggie White in that order or somewhere in that order. A guy that they forget about was one of your clients, rest in peace, Derek Thomas, was amazing. I just had to get that in there.
Well, he was, and then I also have
Bruce
Smith, and who was the all-time sack leader, for a while. And Kevin Green was right up there. So the good news was I represented those star defensive players. The bad news was they were sacking my quarterback.
It's the never-ending cycle.
Hey, Mr. Steinberg, one thing on Jerry Maguire, I never get tired of it. I'm just going to ask you flat out. That movie is one of my favorites. How realistic is it? And are you Jerry Maguire?
There's no Jerry Maguire. I started with the first pick in the draft. That's Cameron's creation. But if you're asking if a lot of the time I spent with him is reflected up on the screen, well, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But so Jerry Maguire's a fictitious character. When you start back in 1975 with the first pick in the first round, you get the biggest contract of all time. That doesn't make for much of a movie. You don't have struggle and the whole arc that you need of someone getting going. But I actually had to show the quarterback in the film played by Jerry O'Connell how to throw a spiral. He is on NYU, and they didn't have football there.
That's
right.
right.
My gosh. Mr. Steinberg, last thing for you, and I can't thank you enough for joining us.
Thank you.
Is it going to be Trayvon Walker going number 1 tonight? And what do you make on the other side of this as when you see all of these mock drafts? I mean, we sit here and talk about mock drafts like crazy. Do you get a chuckle out of those? Who's going where?
First of all, there's a generalized amnesty on truth-telling for all executives at the time. So it's very hard to follow because the team's not going to tell another team what they really think through the papers, right? And so those mock drafts are that. As a matter of fact, if a general manager died and he went up to St. Peter in heaven and he was waiting for entrance into heaven, and St. Peter said, "What's the most egregious, flagrant sin you committed in your lifetime?" And the general manager said, "Well, I misled the public on who I was going to take in the NFL draft." St. Peter would say, "Come right in."
Absolutely.
And so that makes it very difficult. I think this is a meat and potatoes draft. It doesn't have the pizzazz of 5 quarterbacks. It's got players who are on the offensive and defensive line who are essential building blocks, but it doesn't tend to get people as excited. There are probably no running backs going in the first round, a lot of wide receivers, but those first picks are all going to be building block picks. They're going to be an edge rusher or they're going to be an offensive lineman.
The great Lee Steinberg. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Like I said, 8 different number 1 overall draft picks, 64 first-round picks, negotiated $4 billion.
And still going.
And still going. And we're so happy about it. Thanks so much for the time, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. Take it easy.
You bet. Lee
You got it.
Steinberg. We are going to take a break. Come right back. We'll react to what he had to say. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Mr. Steinberg would have loved the Folding Warehouse. Get down there to Hamtramck. And, of course, your host, Chris Hutt, his wife, Noni. They will welcome you in like family. And check it out, the football bowling game. It's phenomenal. 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited open play. Or you can have 10 of your closest friends. Get your own private lane reservation. 2 hours. $120. Bring your own food in, have it delivered. Plenty to drink there, over 100 beers. Full bars, it's all good. And the mystery beer machine, only for $2. So get your fold on. Check it out. Check out more information at foldingwarehouse.com.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Time to get in shape, just like the Detroit Lions will be doing tonight with the pick second in the draft, 7:30. Guess what? Time to get in shape. Come on, Planet Fitness. They're here for you. Your fitness is essential. $10 a month is all it takes.
Only $10?
All it takes is $10, Ryan Ermanni. It is April. It will be May. Then it's June. Then it's summertime. Let's get this party started now. Over 2,000 locations to make it convenient for you. $0 down if you sign up in person. But if not, guess what? PlanetFitness.com. Sign up, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential.
Yes, it is essential. Woodward Sports Network. How great was that? What more do you want?
That was amazing,
right? I mean, we're talking about a guy who has seen every era,
heard everything.
Excuse me. He negotiated the biggest contract in NFL history
with Patrick Mahomes.
Enough said.
And he just keeps coming back.
What a wealth of knowledge on draft day to spend a couple of minutes with us. Are you kidding me?
Guys like Drew Rosenhaus and the rest of those guys, they all follow in Lee Steinberg's footsteps.
Kevin Green, Bruce Smith, Howie Long, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Warren Moon. I mean, we're dropping bombs right now.
You know, one of the things
Thomas.
One of the things that he said too towards the end about the mock drafts and about what these organizations do and lie and all this stuff. I mean, just go back to how big of a story it was that came out that Dan Campbell didn't really like Kayvon Thibodeau. Wasn't his kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, I go back and I say to myself, if that was really true, there is no way that gets out. If he really didn't like Kayvon Thibodeau, that doesn't get out. You never hear about it. It's much easier to pass on the player and just take Aiden Hutchinson.
1,000%. You know, I was talking to the back. I was talking with Easy and Spencer when that first came out. Shout out to the heavyweights in the back. I was talking to them when it first came out, and I said, you know what? We've talked about how good poker players Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have been. We talked about it since the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama. Then you get to the Combine. Then you get to that in-between space between the Combine and now. For this to come out like this a week and a half, 2 weeks before the draft, I said, they've shown their hand. I said, I was paying attention. And I'm telling you, I still go back to what happened in 2005, man. And that's kind of how I know about the process. I watched the Miami Dolphins facilitate to everybody what they wanted to do, that being draft me at 2. Overall, this is the first time that I got to see this up close in person. Then on draft day, they draft Ronnie Brown because the Lions and the Redskins, they were the Redskins at the time. Now the Commanders, they weren't willing to make a move with their 2 first-round picks, so the Miami Dolphins drafted who they wanted anyway, which is Ronnie Brown. So it's a real thing. They leaked that information. There you go. Just like Jacksonville said they wanted to draft Aiden Hutchinson for so long, leaked that information. Now it's off the table.
Why do they?
Maybe.
This is true. Maybe.
You know, why do they
play the game?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why would Jacksonville say they're going to take Aiden Hutchinson if, you know, really the guy that everybody's after is Trayvon Walker. Because say you're taking Trayvon Walker, and then you see if teams want to trade up to get that guy, right?
Because when it started, when it officially came out that Jacksonville, that was the move in which they wanted to make. You remember what happened? Aiden Hutchinson, after the Combine, became the odds-on favorite to be what? The number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Had a tremendous Combine performance, showed a lot of agility. Everyone raved about his 3-cone, said that they didn't think he had that ability to move like that. Once again, I don't put that much stock into the 3-cone, but that's what happened. He became the number 1 pick. So now if you're Jacksonville, you said, cool, this guy's number 1 pick. This isn't the guy that we want. How do we facilitate this pick? Because I told you, Jacksonville didn't want to pick at 1. They were not trying to pick at 1 starting in January, maybe even up till now. So what do? Number 1 guy in the draft, you announce him at 1, and oh, by the way, there's been a lot of talk of him going to the Detroit Lions because he plays right up the road. So you sell the story, try to get the picks, and if you don't, you go with what you wanted anyway.
Jacksonville had no idea that they were going to beat the Colts on that last day of the year to, jump the Lions. I mean, it's horrible, but the thing is, do you believe the info that Scott Bischoff got is true, that the Lions big board reads Trayvon Walker 1, Kayvon Thibodeau 2, and then tonight people are saying they're going to pick Hutchinson.
Everybody that I've seen, whether it's Burkett, O'Hara, McShay, Kuiper, they all still have Hutchinson pegged to the Lions. Is that the easy and the safe pick? I don't know. But the more I hear about it, and maybe this is all selling, right? This is all a salesman's job, is that the upside on Tibbs is just far and away higher than Hutchinson.
I think another thing, too, is if you pay attention to this draft process, I think that individuals making these mocks, whether it be O'Hara, whether it be Todd McShay, they're also looking from the lens of Kayvon Thibodeau is a big personality. Kayvon Thibodeau is a guy, which I love. Go figure why. But Kayvon Thibodeau is a big personality. You see him at the draft. You see him just jump up on the stage, start talking. You see the interview with Josina Anderson. Has the big personality. Dan Campbell is a tight end guy, an old offensive line guy. He's a chill guy. He's a quiet guy. You see Brad Holmes. You see the energy on the Detroit Lions team. They don't have any big personalities like that. They don't have that type of player. So it just doesn't seem like he would fit the system. That's what guys are paying attention to versus paying attention to the underlying current, which is he talked to the Lions the most out of any person if you exclude the Senior Bowl from Malik Willis.
All right, we're going to talk to what's it like to be in a war room, different regimes, different teams, different general managers, different coaches. What's it like? We'll talk to Bill Kennist, Lions historian, was with the organization for over 30 years, NFL game rep for the broadcasting department as well. We'll talk to him next, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right, guys. Join the Pepper Club. That's right, the Chili Peppers Club. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. You'll get all the best deals, plus they'll beat all competitors by $5. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. Get it now. Vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to StickerGenius.com today.
That's a game ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You want to get a picture of it, Tony?
How you feel to finally get that, man?
Yeah.
Great show of support. The Lions have been fantastic to us. This is awesome.
How great is that? That was the game ball of the Lions' first win, 29-27 versus Minnesota, the Vikings, being delivered as promised to Oxford High School after the tragedy that unfolded there. Bill Kennist had the honor of delivering that football. Just an incredible moment.
The moment that's so great about that to me is if you look at what that moment represents, it represents a start over for two entities. You look at Oxford, you look at how that thing happened last year, and it was a tragic thing, and my heart still goes out to the families that had losses and just the families, that community in general. But it's a start over. It's a rebuild. You got to move forward. Same thing with the Detroit Lions. Hadn't had a win in almost a year and a half. They win that game. Now you win that game. Now was the start for Brad Holmes. Now it was the start for Dan Campbell. So to me, the moment's it's synonymous with the rebuild, the restart.
So let's bring him in. He's spent over 3 decades with the Detroit Lions. He's a Lions historian and NFL game rep for the broadcasting department. The great Bill Kennist. How are you, Bill?
BK.
Great to see you guys. It's a holiday today, right?
Isn't it though?
The draft.
Isn't it? Yeah. I'm telling you, what, Bill. First, let me touch on what happened delivering that football. What was that like for you? I know that's the community that you live in, and you touched on both ends of that.
Well, it was an honor. Obviously, I'm retired from the Lions, but when the tragedy happened, I was in contact with Eamon Reynolds quite a bit that week about some opportunities that the Lions wanted to show their support for the community, and then they had the game ball made up, and just to walk back in that high school. It's the first time I've been in the high school since the tragedy, and with all my children graduating from there and playing sports and coaching and teaching, it's something that will always be a part of our community here. There's reminders every day. You drive down through the center of town, and there are still signs up, and I'm sure they'll be up forever. And the fact that Dan did what he did speaks to the type of person the Lions have as their head coach, and he was emotional about it. And as Braylon said, for the team to win that first game, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, and I'm sure a lot of people would share in that reality. And it's just something, and what's going to happen with the ball is going to be shared throughout the community at different establishments, first responders, the police, the fire, certain establishments that contributed. The whole community contributed, and still is contributing to the healing, to the moving forward, if you will. And I told Eric from ESPN, I said the phrase 11:30 in our community has no reference to the time of day or whatever. 11:30 in Oxford has a significant meaning, because that's a day that the town and the community changed forever. And the opportunity to honor certainly the 4 students is something that we take to heart, and their memory will be everlasting in our community.
No doubt, and we continue to pray and think about your community. Bill, let me talk football with you right now. What is it like? I think if there's one thing that I have never done in my career that I would give anything for, be in a war room on draft day.
Yeah.
I just think that experience is anything unlike anything anybody in sports can experience.
Right. Well, stealing a line from Seinfeld, if any of our listeners have watched Draft Day, do the opposite, okay? Because Draft Day is nothing like a true war room, if you will. That movie, and despite the cinematic license that every movie has, it's so unrealistic when it comes to what goes on in those rooms. And the reality is, almost all the work is done once the draft begins. And when you have a high pick like the Lions, there aren't that many variables prior to your pick. So you really aren't going to get surprised. It's rare that something happens when you're picking in the top 5, top 10, where things get chaotic. Can they? Yes. If a trade, happens, on draft day, it's unexpected, things can go a little haywire. But the personnel departments of all the teams are so sophisticated. The draft starts the year before. The evaluation of the players start the year before. And so all the work is done. You set your board based on what the scouts' ratings are and the coaches. So you have a really good idea on draft day. Now, when you're starting to pick later in the first round, when you're picking in the second and subsequent rounds, yeah, there's excitement because what will usually happen is, and I'm sure last year with Penei Sewell, you know, the Lions had 3 or 4 names that they took off the board and set to the side. We're going to be happy with either one of these. And then as long as there's one left at your pick, you're ecstatic. And you saw the reaction last year when Sewell was available. But when you get into the second and third rounds and subsequent rounds, that's when a lot of the chess playing occurs. You have guys that you project there.
Yep.
You know what teams are picking before you. You know what their needs are. Yeah. I mean, it's a constant game, if you will, of strategy to try to determine who's going to be available at your pick.
Appreciate that. Bill Kennist here. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
Hi, hey, I got a trivia question for your co-host.
Okay.
If he played his entire career for the Detroit Lions, where would Braylon rank in all-time receiving touchdowns?
Whoa.
So based on the touchdowns that I accumulated through my career, or if I would have played?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So
I mean, based on what Braylon, where would he be in the Lions' history, you know, of career receiving touchdowns?
Top 5?
Third.
Very good. Number 6.
Okay. Well, I was thinking Herman Moore, Calvin Johnson, Johnny Morton, Perriman, maybe.
Yeah, Brett Perriman.
And then who else?
Well, the difference is Detroit liked to throw the ball. The places I went, I didn't have a quarterback. So if I would have been here, I mean, shoot, you got Kirk Kitna throwing for 4,000 yards 2 years in a row, so I would have had more success here. May not won any playoff games, but I damn sure
you
had
had
more
Charlie
success.
Fry. Come on.
I'm glad that you didn't come on here and diss my list, because I put together a pretty decent list of Lions top draft picks all the time. But let me ask you a question. We talk about the Detroit Lions being on the same page. You talk about Sheila Ham is on the same page as Brad Holmes, who's on the same page as Dan Campbell. We also talk about a situation in Jacksonville where they got a GM, they have an owner, and they have a coach. All three of them have a different player that they would like to select. Talk about what it means to be on the same page in times like this, or on today.
Right. I really believe this, Braylon, that except for a rare occasion, when the draft starts, most of the teams are on the same page with respect to the high picks and the first round. You have a real good idea of, I mean, you obviously know what you need, but if there is discord, if there's disagreement when it's time for you to pick, then you haven't done your work. You haven't, because when you get to that point, you know what the team needs are, you know what players should be available at that pick, and you know, again, there's always a chance for something to go a little sideways, but even when it does, you have a plan for that as well. So you have to be on the same page. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that everybody agrees. It's just that once the decision's made, we're on the same team, and we're all going to agree. Okay, up to the point when you set your board and prior to draft day, there are arguments, and there should be. I mean, why do you need a GM and a director of player personnel and a collegiate scouting director if you all think the same way? You want various opinions. You want healthy conversations and disagreements. But once you set that board and it's done, then you better be pulling the same direction. And that's where teams get in trouble when they don't.
BK, go back to 1989. What an awesome class. Troy Aikman is going to go number 1 to Dallas. Then you got Green Bay on the clock. They take Mandarich. If they take Barry Sanders, who are the Lions going to take? Were they going to take Derek Thomas? Were they going to take Deion Sanders? Who was on the Lions board back then?
Well, I think it could have been Derek Thomas, who had a phenomenal career.
Of course.
I will tell you one funny story leading up to that draft. That was Wayne's first full season as head coach.
Yep.
He became the interim coach in November of '88, the year before. And Wayne liked to have mini camps in Tampa for some reason. So that was a little joke there. But no, truthfully, you know, we had a veteran mini camp in March, and I think the Silverdome had a trade show or some type of event that precluded us from practicing or
Monster
having a
truck
camp
race.
in the. There you go. So we're down at the University of Tampa during practice, and all of a sudden there is a commotion, and this, I think it was either a Bentley or a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce or whatever, pulls up almost onto the field, and the entourage steps out, and there's Dion.
Oh, yeah.
Head to toe, prime time, and he came over to visit with Wayne. And now, if you go back and look, Dion has stated since that he never wanted to go to Detroit. But for some reason, he came to the Lions practice that day. So who knows? Who knows what they
That's awesome.
Hey, Bill, I got to take a break. Stick with me, will you?
Yep.
One of the things I want to ask you is, was there ever a time, what was the craziest moment ever on draft night that you remember in that
the
room?
scene.
Somebody took X player and whatever the case may be, your craziest experience. Tell that to me next.
And he's got a Lee Steinberg story to tell you.
Ermanni and Edwards, but first, a message from Centron.
Yo, check this out with Centron. Let's start checking some boxes. Is it premium bottled water? Yes, it is. Is it premium revitalizer shots? Yes, it is. Is it premium energy drinks? Yes, it is. That means you need to get your butt down to a Kroger's today, where they are now at, come on, man, Centron. This stuff is smooth. They are here for the moments. They are a lifestyle beverage brand that I know I support. Power partners with the Detroit Pistons as well as the Detroit Red Wings. Promo code 10 will get you 20% off of shipping and handling included. Go to their website at CentronWorld.com. Come on now, Centron World. Drink it, live it.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, gang, it's Mads for Big Boy. Big Boy's Signature Buffet is back. Treat yourself, and every weekend, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at your local Big Boy. Enjoy your favorites. 2 kinds of eggs, bacon sausage, Polish sausage, garlic mashed potatoes, and mushrooms, grits, red skin potatoes, fresh fruit, pancakes, and waffles. All of that every day. Weekends as well, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Big Boy.
Talking to a guy who spent over 3 decades with the Detroit Lions, retired now, but Lions historian, NFL game rep for the broadcasting department now, wealth and knowledge, our good friend Bill Kennist. Bill, what was the craziest draft night experience that you can remember?
Well, there are a couple, and for different reasons. But I go back to my first draft with the Lions, and I'm on the job. That was actually my very first day working for the team, was draft day, 85. And we're going into the draft, and I'm trying to, and it was a different world back then, obviously, without the internet and all the information that's available to us now. But it became apparent, and in the room there was discussion that we were going to draft one of 2 players, Dwayne Bickett or Chris Dolman. We had the 6th pick, and there was an absolute certainty in that room that one of those 2 guys were going to be there when the Lions picked. And then there was a trade involving Minnesota, and some crazy, unexpected things happened. And back then, there was more of a chance for that than there is today, in my opinion. And Chris Dolman goes to the Vikings. Dwayne Bickett goes to the Colts. And I remember, like, there was just a, oh my gosh, reaction in the draft room, like, wow. I mean, almost.
What do we do now?
And again, yeah. I mean, I'm a young guy in the business and impressionable and naive, but I'm thinking, holy mackerel, I didn't expect this. But you know what? I mean, Chris Dolman became a phenomenal player, but we drafted Lomas Brown. We hadn't even talked to Lomas.
Oh my gosh.
Leading up to that, and Lomas will tell you that, yeah.
So same thing.
But it turned out that whatever work we had done on Lomas was good work.
Pretty good.
You know, he should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
No doubt. Him and Herman Moore, by the way, in my opinion, too. Hey, Bill, let me ask you this. You've seen a lot of regimes. Was there one regime that you felt like, man, these guys they had it all, just didn't work out? And then another, I don't want you to crap talk anybody, I guess, but maybe was there one organization, was there one regime, I'm trying to ask this as delicately as I can, was there one regime that was way more buttoned up than another?
And again, the world has changed so dramatically with information. I think today there's more talking between GMs and personnel people and the national media than ever before. You know, you guys were talking about that early in the show. How do these things get out? Well, think about all the big announcements that are made today with respect to any team in the league. Who makes them? The Adam Schefters of the world, the Ian Rappaports of the world, the ESPNs, CBS Sportsline, all that. You don't have what we used to do, where the PR department would do a press release and announce whatever. And so there's a scratch my back, scratch your back type of deal. So the national media, I mean, they're talking to these guys all the time. It used to be we would go into the cave, as it was referred to, meaning the Friday before the draft, it was bedrock and the stone went in front of the cave, okay? You didn't hear anything. But with the way the business has changed and with the relationships that all these teams, executives, have with the national media, there's a game out there. There's another game going on, quite frankly.
BK, we had Jerry Maguire on earlier, alias Lee
There is no Jerry Maguire, he said.
But let me ask you this. You said you had a good story for me with Benny Blades, one of my faves, the Blade Runner here in Detroit. I got to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I have. Let me just talk about Lee for a second,
please,
if I can. I go back to the USFL. I was in the USFL
Maulers
with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes, and Lee represented Steve Young. Okay, now what do you guys remember from that?
He went to the LA Express, and the Tampa Bay Bucks drafted him.
And he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
$40 million man, right?
Yep.
Wow.
I do remember
Lee was a master when it came to the media. No one, and I use this term respectfully, played the media like Lee did. That contract, okay, it was an annuity. Okay?
Oh my God!
And depending on, what you read or what you know, Steve Young realized no more than $5 million from that deal. But yet, forever and a day, if you Googled Steve Young, $40 million, it would come up LA Express, like Tom says. So we drafted Andre Ware in 1990. All right.
Yeah.
And Lee represented Andre. Okay. So I remember Lee. So we draft Andre, and now Chuck Schmidt's got to negotiate the contract. So Lee, again, his ability to relate to the media, he had this mantra that he had never held a number one pick out of training camp. So if we don't get this contract done, it's the Lions' fault. It's not Lee's fault. So I did a little research. And I found out that not so fast, my friend. He had 7 number one picks that technically did not report to training camp on time. I mean, it was totally against the impression that he had cultivated in the national media. So I went to Chuck Schmidt and I said, Chuck, just for what it's worth, because I'm working for the team. I want what's best for the team. I said, this whole thing about Lee not holding anybody out is BS. It's not true. And I showed him my research and all that. It was good information. And then I might have happened to whisper something to Michael Herrick or Sylvester about that. So the story gets written, and Lee goes nuts.
Oh,
He's
my
not
gosh.
happy at all, because this image of the great agent that never holds a guy out was tarnished a little bit, you know. And I give Lee kudos for that, you know, getting that out there. So, as you guys may remember, some of you, I don't think Braylon would, but the Andre negotiations were acrimonious. They weren't good. And they went to the last week of preseason.
Jeez.
Okay? And I remember the day vividly. Chuck calls me down to his office, and Lee's sitting in there, and they're negotiating. And I had told Chuck early on, I said, listen, Chuck, when we get this deal done, we are going to announce it immediately or as soon as we can, because Lee is essentially in bed with ESPN and all the national media. He will scoop our media, okay? And I understand that. That's how he made his hay, so to speak. So I said, Chuck, we're going to announce it immediately. I don't care what time it was. So that was early on. Now comes the last week, and Chuck calls me down to the office, and he and Lee are in there, and he says, Billy, we're going to probably have a deal done, you know, in a couple hours. And I said, okay, we'll announce it tonight. And Lee predictably says, oh, no, we can't do it. It's too soon. Let's do it tomorrow. And I'm looking at Chuck, and I'm trying to get him to remember what I had said a few weeks earlier. I'm like, Chuck, we got to announce this tonight. And he goes, you know what? Can you get the press conference together? I go, absolutely. We'll do it at 10 o'clock. It'll lead into the 11 o'clock news. The TVs will love it. Everybody will be happy. So that's what we did. And then, and again, I told Chuck, I said, you know, we got to announce it as quick as we can because he's gonna scoop our media. So he calls me back down, I don't know, it was about 6 o'clock, and he says, you know, okay, we're going to go get something to eat. You want to come with us? And so we start to walk out of the Silverdome, and then Lee all of a sudden says, you know what? I think you could just bring me back a sandwich. I need to stay here. And it didn't hit me, but we walked down the hall, and I said, oh, my gosh, Chuck. And we walked into my office, which was away from his office, and I said, let me turn on ESPN. We turn on ESPN. Andre Ware agrees to a contract with the Detroit Lions.
Oh my
according
gosh!
To his, within 30 seconds.
Look at him.
He had
right before Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, before Twitter, before all that, he had an amazing relationship with all the media, and he served his clients well. I mean, I will never contest that. He really did a good job when it came to serving his clients.
Incredible stuff. I got about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Bill, who are the Lions taking tonight?
There we go.
You know what? I think the game has changed. We talked about it last year when I told you guys, I look at Sewell because the game is now from the outside, in my opinion. So you need to protect the quarterback from the outside. You need to get to the quarterback on the outside. It's all about speed. The rules have changed, favoring the offenses. So I think it's got to be an edge rusher. I really do. It's got to be somebody that gets after the quarterback.
Who is it? Hutchinson?
Somebody that
Thibodeau?
gets after.
Come on.
I think it could be any of those guys.
Oh, for God's sake.
I love the political game.
You PR right to the end, Billy.
Bill, thanks thanks so much, my friend. We certainly appreciate you taking a couple of minutes for us. Love having you on, Bill. Thanks so much. You got it. Bill Kennist. Long time.
All right, Bill. Always a pleasure. My mom loves you, by the way.
Long time employee with the Detroit Lions.
600, baby.
I'm telling you, let's go.
We got the best fan base in the city, man.
How's our
best
likes?
fan base in the city. We appreciate you guys. 600.
Let's go. Let's keep going. We're gonna react to what Bill had to say. Also, we will talk about the top busts of all time.
And just the word in general.
The name immediately that pops into my head, I'll let you know what that is. What's yours? But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm keeps you safe and gives you peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Right now, let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
At Wingsnob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year, but you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports Network, having a lot of fun. There's some great stories there. You know, earlier in the show, if you're just joining us, we talked to Lee Steinberg, the real-life Jerry Maguire.
We talked about Jerry Maguire.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that had 8 number-1 overall draft picks, 64 first-round draft picks, negotiated $4 billion worth of contracts.
Another thing is, every time he came to the Apple, you know, for 30, 40 years, it's the #1 contract ever, followed by the #1 contract ever, followed by the #1 contract ever. That's what makes it even crazy.
He's Patrick Mahomes' agent to this day. Then Bill Kennist, a guy who's been with the team since 1985, retired now, the Detroit Lions. He's seen every regime walk through that door and walk out of that door as well. Trying to get him a little, I don't want to get him in trouble or anything like that, but just...
you know what he would have said.
Absolutely. But guys, I don't think there's anything new right now, any news and notes right now that we have not seen or talked about. Kind of everything is standing pat right now. No major trades. That doesn't shock me on a day like today because we've said it. We showed you the Schefter tweet that one long-time NFL executive said this is the craziest draft he's ever seen in his life.
So 4.5 hours away from the being on the clock for the Jags.
Lee Steinberg said this is a meat and potatoes draft. There's a lot of guys in there this draft that can help your team, but nobody really that is going to be all that sexy.
Yeah.
I like the way he put that, the meat and potatoes draft.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
That's defense and that's offensive line, right?
Yeah.
And wide receivers, or you get the icing.
Meat and potatoes is still the big guy.
Yeah.
It's still the big uglies.
Right. So there's that. Guys, we're talking about the biggest busts of all time. First of all, that word.
It's a trigger word.
What does that word mean to you?
It means the guy that's failed.
But this is why I say you have to kind of break down the word and break down the player, because I think there are different circumstances. I'll give you one. I give you one to start off with. Okay, Kajana Carter. If you don't remember Kajana Carter went to Penn State. He won the Heisman Trophy. He played running back. Was the #1 overall pick in the 1994 draft, I do believe, or maybe 95. It was 94, 95.
I think 95.
I think it was 95. So, but listen to what happened to him along the way. That's why I say you got to be careful with the word bust. Kajana Carter suffered a season-ending rotator cuff. He suffered a season-ending wrist injury. He suffered a season-ending kneecap injury, and he also suffered a ligament tear in his knee. That actually happened in preseason at the Silverdome. I was at that game.
Playing on the cement?
Gary Moeller got me tickets. Gary Moeller was
Nice.
on the Lions coaching staff at the time, got my dad tickets. But something like that, like 4 career-ending knee surgeries, like that's not a bust.
Right.
That's just, it wasn't in your cards. Now, you look at somebody like Johnny Manziel, that's a bust. I look at what his career was off the field, in Cleveland, on the field.
How about Jamarcus Russell?
Bust. That he didn't do the homework. You know the infamous story about Jamarcus Russell is they gave him DVDs to take home and say, hey, you know, freshen up on the plays, freshen up on the systems. Let us know what you see out of the defenses that you'll be playing against. Comes in, he says, yo, I like it. We can exploit these guys. There was nothing on the DVD. He lied about watching it, and the reason why the coach knows because he gave him a DVD that nothing was on. So he wasn't putting in the work to be a great #1 overall pick. That's a bust.
Tony Mandarin.
That's the one that jumps to
a bust.
That's the one to me.
Overleaf?
Yes, Tony Mandrich to me because of who was taken after Tony Mandrich.
Oh
Barry Sanders and Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
You know,
and Derek Thomas.
And Derek Thomas. It's almost like the Darko, where like Darko to me. I mean, Sam Bowie, obviously, but Darko to me because of who was taken after Darko. You know, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, not in that order, but those are the 3
Would
players.
you put Andre Ware as a bust?
I would. Andre Ware was, well...
You heard what he did to the Lions. He held them up for ransom to the last game of the freaking preseason.
Yeah.
And then was awful.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk about those busts, and that was what I think the NFL has really done well lately is with this rookie pay scale. You know, you don't get guys that are missing their entire off-season training camps anymore. It just doesn't happen anymore. On this list of the biggest busts in draft history, you've got Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell.
Russell,
I can't even see that. Who is that? Keely Smith and who else?
So that's Vernon Golston, who I talked about yesterday.
Russell Ertzleben was a punter.
So
Vernon Golston on the biggest bust list?
He didn't do anything.
What pick was he?
Third.
Was he 5?
5?
It's 5 over.
It was the Jets.
I talked about him yesterday. I talked about him kind of reminding me of Trayvon Walker when we were sitting there with Scott Bischoff yesterday. Vernon Golston did a lot at Ohio State. He came out, was drafted 5th overall, never even got in the game. I was on the Jets team the year they drafted him. And he's never gotten the game. We tried to get him in there, but just wasn't a fit because his hips were so stiff. But going back to the punter, Russell
Ertzleben.
I don't even know who the hell
That's
that
how you
is.
say
Never even heard of him.
Played for Texas.
See, I don't count him as a bust. This is why I say you got to watch that word. Because you know what? That stupidity on the fact of the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints selected him 11th overall. You know what their funny idea was? He's going to kick and punt. What punter kicks and punt besides Adam Finley when I was at Michigan? He was 50% field goals, and he was 40 career as a punter. What that tells me is he should have never been a kicker. You should have had him as a punter and not drafted him. So a situation like that doesn't make him a bust. That makes the New Orleans Saints idiots.
They outsmarted themselves.
They outkicked their coverage.
And when they traded their whole draft to get Ricky Williams,
once again,
you could say that too. I mean, Mike Ditka, at the end of his coaching career, did not live up to the name Mike Ditka. I got a guy, Todd Marinovich, Lobo quarterback.
There's a 30 for 30 on him.
Him and his dad.
Yeah. His dad wrecked him.
That was
ruined him.
What about the Boz?
Brian
Bosworth.
I don't think he was that bad.
He played 2 years and he had 2 sacks.
I guess he was. I know Bo Jackson ran by him.
And over.
Yeah.
And over.
Yep.
So with the word bust, that's why it's like it's just tricky. Some players are bust. That means they didn't live up to the potential for whatever reason. But then when you start to add injuries, then we start to add a dumb team. Trent Richardson, running back out of Alabama, that's a bust.
I'll tell you what, guys. If you right now go to Google and just open up Detroit Lions draft picks, literally
all of them,
just go down the line.
Yes, that's tough.
There's a ton of them, especially in the second round,
right,
where it's a freaking disaster. I mean, a disaster.
Couple of things I want to do with you guys next. One, talk about this, the Mike Tannenbaum situation. Remember, he was on with us and said
Mike T will be on with us Monday.
Nice.
Oh, look at that! Former general manager of the Jets and Dolphins, Braylon's GM with the Jets. He said a team should take a quarterback in every draft. So I want you guys to tell me which quarterback the Lions should take this year, and it doesn't have to be Malik Willis at 2. Give me a quarterback in the 5th round or 6th round or whatever.
Never mind. You answered my question just now.
Tell me what quarterback you think they should take. Also, I want to talk about these funny moments because I saw a picture today of a draft moment that has never escaped my mind either. I want to show it to you next. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's is where we broadcast our show from. We do it live, and it's definitely awesome to get off the air and get myself looking handsome and clean. I recommend Lady Jane's to you. There's over 100 locations nationwide, open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are game ready. Get to a Lady Jane's right now. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Matty, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
Hey, everybody, can't wait to see you tonight, man. What are we, 4 hours away from our draft party? Less than that even. Come on out and see us at the Brass Rail, the Woodward Sports NFL Draft Party, our Lions watch party. Come on down and watch it with us. Thanks to Cintron, of course, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness. We're all going to be down there. We're all going to take our share of the picks. We're going to team up and go through the picks. We're going to take you right down to pick number 32. If the Lions keep that pick, we'll take you to 32 anyway, but you never know if they trade it. Come on down, be with us all tonight. The Brass Rail, Woodward and Adams, downtown Detroit, right across from Comerica Park. You don't want to know what the Tigers are doing right now, by the way. They're getting killed again. By the way, we'll see you tonight, 7 o'clock, till the Lions pick at 32. We'll see you.
Minnesota is just not the place for the Detroit Tigers.
It was on Monday until they pissed it away Tuesday.
I understand, but that would only happen in Minnesota, Maz.
Yeah,
correct.
You know,
they have a terrible record at Target Field.
It's
awful. I think there's 16 games under 500 at Target Field.
Yeah. My
terrible.
goodness. We'll get into some Tigers talk at some point next week, but the season has not started the way I think they've got one home run in the last 12 games.
And they haven't won a series
We watched
yet.
that Saturday. Spencer.
Javi Baez. The other
Monday.
night.
Yeah.
And Baez got hurt today.
My goodness.
Again.
Either way. Guys.
Tannenbaum.
Mike Tannenbaum came on our show and said it is incumbent and it is a winning formula for every team to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
At some point in the draft, not in the first round, it could be a 7th round pick, but to get a quarterback, get an arm in camp, take a look at somebody. Do you guys have your eye on any? I'm not talking about the Malik Willis or the Sam Howell or anything like that.
You can.
Yeah, but if that's a guy you want, you know, in the 2nd round or 3rd round or whatever, go for it. Is there a guy that you have, Braylon Edwards, that you've got your eye on?
There is, and you got to pay attention to the rhetoric that Mike Tannenbaum used. He didn't say draft in the 1st round. That's what Ryan cleared that up for you guys. You don't have to draft him in the 1st round. You just got to draft one. Like, legitimately, all draft picks don't make it to the season. Some of those 7th round guys, 6th round guys, hell, 5th round guys, they get cut and they don't make it. So it's okay to spend a 7th round draft pick or a 6th round draft pick, sometimes even a 5th round draft pick. If you believe in a guy and you cut him, oh well, it's the price of doing business. Me myself, I do have an eye on a guy. I would think in the 6th round, I would maybe even consider at the end of the 5th round, I got to look at where that pick is Caleb Ellaby. Caleb Ellaby is the quarterback out of Western Michigan. We got a chance to get eyes on him this year when Michigan played. Now, over 3,000 yards this season, 23 touchdowns, which is close to what Malik Willis is. He doesn't turn the ball over, and that's one thing we saw about him the year before, and then one thing we saw this year. He doesn't turn the ball over, high IQ. And you look at a receiver like Sky Moore, who plays for Western, who's now, there's talk. Somebody could make a move for Sky Moore, get him in the 1st round. Guess who got him in the potential 1st round? That's a guy in Caleb Ellaby. So someone like Caleb Ellaby will be a good move. He's a local guy, Western Michigan. Get him, 6th round pick. I like that.
I still want 32 and 34. I want to move up into the middle of the draft. I want to get ahead of the Steelers. I want Malik Willis. That's first. If I don't get him, I'm still thinking I want one of the other quarterbacks, whoever's left, at 32. I just want another quarterback. I don't want to go into the season with these backup quarterbacks. I want a guy that we can maybe roll the dice on, and who knows, maybe he becomes Kirk Cousins. Not the greatest quarterback in the world, but pretty damn good. And then if you really go 3rd round or more, 4th round, maybe Bailey Zappi
That's who I
goes
have
down.
up. Look at this.
Maybe Carson
right
Strong maybe falls down. I know he's a pocket guy, big arm. What the hell do we really know? Just get another quarterback. I don't want David Blau and TB12. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I'm going to look at his projection right now, Bailey Zappi, because He's a guy that threw
led
for
the Wonderlic.
6,000 yards, 5,900 plus yards at Western Kentucky. What does he have? 62 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. This year, 62 touchdowns.
And we watched him early in the year.
Yeah.
They played against Michigan State. Michigan State secondary wasn't that good at the time, and he torched them. He destroyed them. And you're talking about a big level opponent. You're talking about a Power 5 conference team in Michigan State, and he ran through them. So that lets you know that he doesn't mind the challenge of being in the pen with real Lions.
So, I want to throw this up for you as well. So, remember the night Russell Wilson was drafted?
Oh, yeah, of course.
They always go to the crowd and you see who they're hanging with.
The only thing I remember about the night that Russell Wilson was drafted was this photo of his then girlfriend or fiance. That was just brilliant.
So I saw this earlier, and I actually tweeted at someone that made a comment. They said, you know what, guys, is this who we really are? Can we be better than that? And blah, 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 blah. Talk about the young lady. And I was like, well, the reason why, because they thought she was going to set herself for life.
Oh, God,
they thought that moment had set herself for life and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? She chose to be, infidelity?
Oh, was it her?
It was definitely.
They're calling it his ex-wife.
It's his wife.
Ex-wife.
It's his ex-wife.
I was there at the time. I was in Seattle. Infidelity with a teammate. I won't say.
That's right. I did hear that.
Exactly. So she was.
She
was the one that pulled her panties down and ruined the dream and ushered him right into Sierra's lap, where they make a beautiful couple.
It worked out very well for
exactly.
him.
So when people look at that, don't be like, oh, he upgraded. Yeah, he upgraded because she put her panties down.
That was a big-time upgrade.
He definitely got lucky. How about Laramie Tunsil? I mean, we never forget poor Laramie Tunsil. This video leaking, of course.
Weed man.
Leaking.
On the night of the draft.
Good word, leak.
There it is.
The weed
He's
man.
got the gas mask on. He is.
That's so great.
He is just having at
poor
it, man.
Guy. That was a stepdad or something like that put that video out, right?
It was. What a stepdad.
I mean, that is incredible. I think he's recently spoken about that.
He has.
He's been balling. They Miami traded him to the Texans.
Yep.
Huge deal. That's how they got to it.
Here's the difference between successful organizations and organizations that play it way too
Taking
safe.
a chance.
Laramie Tunsil dropped that night. And he's a 20-year-old kid at the time of that video, transgression. Take the kid. Don't over this silly video, you're going to not take him. I mean, there's teams that take a chance on you and then teams that play it safe. And it's the teams that play it safe that always end up at the top of the first round every year.
It's just like Nick Saban talked about. Nick Saban talked about that when he was at Michigan State. Talked about he had a player that had made a big mistake, tremendous mistake. And instead of kicking him off the team like everybody wanted him to do, he punished him. Yep. And that player turned out to be Muhsin Muhammad. Yep. Muhsin Muhammad is an amazing individual, has done amazing things, and was an amazing player for the Chicago Bears as well as the Carolina Panthers. Sometimes you just got to take that chance.
How about when they show the future draftees hot moms? Last year it was Zach Wilson's hot mom.
Yeah.
This year, look whose hot mom has made the top of the list here. Let's show that one.
Oh, my gosh.
Aiden Hutchinson's mom has made the list of the hot moms so far this year. We'll see who else pops up tonight. And I leave you with they call it a GIF or a GIF?
I don't know. GIF, GIF.
I always say
well,
GIF.
here's the old GIF. Oh, you can't show a GIF? Okay.
Okay, here we
Alex just gave me the old.
Before we get to Maz's videos of the day. Oh, did you? Are you going to show that?
No.
Before we get to Maz's videos of the day, I did want to ask you. I want everybody participate in this, but it's going to be fun. You got to give me a bold prediction on what's going to happen in the first round of tonight's draft, or I guess the draft tonight because it's only the first round. Got to give me a bold prediction. That's Sam, that's Alex, Maz, Ryan, and myself.
So think about what your bold prediction was. I have 2.
Dos chicas.
Bold predictions. I will let you know what those are after the break. But first, a message from Sticker Genius. Nice guns, guys.
See
Thank you so much. I might as well just show the whole audience. Okay, anywho, Sticker Genius is the official sticker partner of Woodward
Sports. The camera's
stuck.
Let's keep going.
When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. Sticker Genius put up all of this beautiful wall covering all over the Woodward Sports studio in less than a day. If you go to their website, stickergenius.com, you will see that they offer window graphics, wall graphics, custom stickers, and so much more. If you want them to hook you up like they did us, visit stickergenius.com. We'll be back with Maz's videos. This is Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Bottom Line.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Gypsy Vodka, guess what? It is that time. The summertime is here. I told you guys earlier, Planet Fitness, get in shape. Well, guess what? The same thing is true of Gypsy Vodka because the summertime is here, the fun time is here, and you want to have a cool glass, vodka, and soda. Check it out. Gluten-free, Michigan's own Gypsy Vodka. Adam and Mike got it right. Countless taste tests. I'm talking countless taste tests to find out you, as a consumer, what do you like? What do you want as a vodka drinker? And in the 50th, I think they got it right, man. Go down to the liquor store and ask for it because we will have some of that tonight for you at the Brass Rail for the draft party. Come on down and check it out. But remember, always, above everything else, drink responsibly.
I love Malik Willis. I will not back down from my love for Malik Willis. You know how I feel about him. I've been talking about him for months. In fact, I think the first week we were on the air, I mentioned his name is a guy you should look out for. I think he's going to have a really successful career in the NFL. I think he's going to make some team very happy. My bold prediction for tonight is that you will not hear his name called in the first round of the NFL draft. He may fall out. And the only reason maybe he would get drafted is because of that fifth-year option. I think the bold prediction is he slips by number 20. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't draft him because they have the inside track on Baker Mayfield. So I think if he doesn't go to Pittsburgh at 20, maybe a team like the Lions trades up to get him, but he could fall out altogether. That's my bold prediction.
I can see that. You know, I can see that for the reasons of the scouting of Malik Willis. When you look at him this year, I just didn't see it there. I saw the speed. Yes, he can run. I'm not drafting a running back. I'm not drafting a wide receiver. I'm drafting a quarterback. So I don't want to hear about how fast he is. He's Lamar Jackson-esque. I don't want to hear all that. I want to talk about what has he done in games. How does he read? Can he get from the first to the second to the third read? Can he create on the run? What type of offense will you create around him? I'm tired of hearing about it. I just don't think he's the guy. So I could see that happening. His biggest game last year, biggest moment, Ole Miss. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You never judge anybody on their worst game, but this was a chance for you. You knew this was the game you had circled on your schedule as this is my show and prove game. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Maz?
So what's your bold prediction?
I was going last.
Okay, you go last?
Yeah. Oh, no, I was talking about his.
Okay, I'll give you mine. The Lions are going to wind up with Malik Willis somewhere in his first round. That's my prediction.
Okay. I don't hate it, obviously.
You know what? Let me go. I'll show you what a bold prediction is. A bold prediction. No quarterbacks drafted in the first round. That's my prediction. No quarterbacks.
Not even Kenny Pickett.
Not even Kenny Pickett.
You can get really big odds on that right now.
Really big.
I said bold. That's what you call
You're going
bold.
against Vegas.
Kenny Pickett,
okay,
not getting drafted in the first round. Malik Willis, neither is he. Sam Howell, Coral, or Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. None go in the first round.
Interesting. We'll see
I'll
tonight.
bet you dinner on that.
We'll all be at the Brass Rail tonight watching it play out. Time for the day we like to play Maz's videos of the day. I got to get up for that.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Before I do my videos, we got to get our boys' predictions. So start it off with Alex.
Since I am the only Michigan State fan in the room, I have to do
K9.
my alma mater
K9.
proud. I think Aiden Hutchinson is getting a little bit too much attention this week. So my bold prediction, I hope this is bold enough for you, Braylon, but Kenneth Walker III will be chosen tonight. I'm eyeing the Kansas City Chiefs with pick. I think they have 30 and 31.
Wow,
I think that's
that'd be
a good
great
landing
spot
spot
for
for
him.
him.
Talking about Al
Great
May.
spot.
That's a bold prediction.
That's
Yes.
That's a hell of a
You
prediction.
didn't like my
Al May.
bold prediction?
Well, that's not really bold.
You don't think it's bold?
If Malik Willis slips to 32, goddamn, we know.
I
that
didn't
the
say
Detroit-
that. I said they're going to get him. That's all I said. He's going to be drafted by the
It's
Lions.
still not bold.
Okay.
I mean, it could be bold. We'll see. If they draft him at 2, then you won.
No,
Then
they're
you
not
were
going
right.
to draft him at 2. I
I
already know
but
that.
that's because, see, that's called a bold prediction.
Sam, you're up.
Both Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd will fall out of the first round.
Devin Lloyd, too?
Yes.
Nobody likes backers.
Now,
huh?
that's what you call a bold prediction. I like that. I don't think Devin Lloyd sliding out of the first round, but dang, that's a good one. Got me thinking.
Maz, you're
All right.
up.
I got my video today. Remember the other night when the Heat knocked off
sliding out
the
first. I
Atlanta
like that,
Hawks
Sam.
and advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals?
That's what's up.
Well, guess who was there? None other than Jawan Howard.
Yes, I saw this.
Way to close it out. What's up? Let's go. I understand how we do it here. Oh, way to go, baby. Way to go. Way to go. This is Max Drew. Hey, nice to meet you, man.
You know what? There's nothing like walking in a locker room after you haven't played for a while and just still getting that love that he's feeling. It's a great feeling. And then Eric Spoelstra.
Spo
could go down in history as the most underrated NBA coach of all time.
Seriously, that's real right there too.
Don't forget, he just was in an NBA Finals.
That's real.
2 years ago with no LeBron, with no D Wade, and now he's the number 1 seed in this one
That's
with
real.
no LeBron and no D Wade.
And Pat Riley's guy. He brought him up, and that's his guy.
Pat Riley chose Spo over LeBron.
Yep. I love you, Pat Riley.
LeBron tried to get rid of Spo.
Take a
Guess
hike.
what LeBron is now?
Yeah.
He's not there.
Take a hike, pal. You're not in the playoffs. Here's one for you from my day, 1981. It's the last year that Reggie Jackson was with the Yankees. He hits this home run off of John Denny of Cleveland. The reason that I'm going to show it to you is because Reggie Jackson is a badass, and John Denny was trying to hit him all freaking night. They going back and forth. Watch what Reggie Jackson does to John Denny.
Deep right center, and that one is way gone. Look at Jackson. Oh, well, they had a camera on Jackson. He starts running now, but he just stood there and looked at it.
Watch him tip his hat here, his cap. Watch this. Now here it comes.
Reggie Jackson was a beast.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's what. Let's go. Let's get it.
You
on.
don't want a piece of.
Put 2
Yeah.
quarters in the machine and let's get it on.
You don't want a piece of Reginald Martinez Jackson.
Let me tell you.
I don't want no smoke with him.
Never. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, especially you, Maz.
What do you want to root it for?
Met Reggie Jackson once. Not a very positive experience.
He doesn't, but you know what though? he doesn't seem like everything I've ever seen in Reggie Jackson. He doesn't seem like he would be like a one you would expect to
Listen
be nice.
to me. He don't like you because you're not a New Yorker. Me and him would have got along great.
He don't like, I don't think he likes most people.
It was back in the All-Star game in 2005.
Oh yeah, he didn't like you.
No, it was.
Tell me about it.
I will. Well, he was actually I was producing, and he's on set with Dan Miller. You know, the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You know, they contact you, say, hey, do you want?
You're
you know,
part of Fox. They're carrying
Reggie
it.
Jackson's on the circuit. You know, do you want to interview? Obviously, you want to interview Reggie. So
Undertaker.
He's on the set next to Dan Miller. Would not even look at Dan Miller for like a second.
I'm sorry, Dan.
So he gets up to the set, sits down. It's a commercial break, obviously. He gets up to the set. Dan says, like, Mr. Jackson or Reggie, how you doing?
Yeah.
Doesn't even acknowledge that Dan had just spoke to him. And then we're like, so
awesome.
Dan kind of looks. He's like, okay. And then they're like, 30 seconds. Nothing. No movement from Reggie Jackson. Stand by. And then Dan starts the interview, like, welcome back. And Reggie pops up, like literally did not say one word or even acknowledge anybody's presence until that camera was on. And then, boy, he was on, and he was great. And then got done with the interview and walked off the set.
Are we sure that chip still was in his head from
Naked Gun?
Naked Gun? Maybe he was being controlled.
He might have been
You
controlled.
like that bring back?
Man, that was great.
Hey, I'll leave you one more. This will bring a smile to your face.
Sure.
This guy's just chilling at his pool, right? And I'm not sure where it's at. But the sea lion just finds his way to this pool. Now watch the sea lion, what he's going to do. And watch it all the way to the end. Look at this.
Sea lions are no small creatures.
Look, he's just walking in. He can jump in this pool here.
Let me go for a dip.
Now watch, the guy is sitting there on his lounge chair.
Go for a nice swim.
He realizes the sea lion is going to come out and want to say hi to him.
No.
Yeah.
He's chilling.
Here he comes. He had a nice swim. Now he's going to come over.
Shoot.
The guy's got some food there.
Get up, dude.
Get up.
Spin move.
The sea lion just wants to chill on the lounge chair. Look at this.
So where are they right now?
I don't know.
Is this a hotel?
I don't know.
It had to be because it looked like there was some regular ocean water mixed in with.
I'm sure
I would think that's, I'd be running for my life.
He was too chill. That's got to be like a place where they know that can happen.
You know what Alex would say about this video? It's fake. That's what Alex would tell me. He always poo-poos my videos.
You can take a shot to Alex, but that was a good one.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a good one.
All right, is that it, Maz?
That's it. I'll see you tonight.
We'll see you tonight. Bray?
Hey, gentlemen, getting drafted tonight. I have been there. Guess what? Have fun. Enjoy tonight, man. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy the camera. Enjoy the fans in Las Vegas. Enjoy the little boat ride up to the draft. It is fun. It is for you. You deserve it. Because guess what? All the smiles and the fun do stop on Monday morning. So enjoy it tonight. That's me. That's Alex. That's Maz. Sam. Fletch in the building, too. Feel like I missed somebody. Ryan Ermanni. My bad. This is the bottom line. Come on down to Brass Rail. 7:30. We'll be there.
Are we going to be bitching tomorrow?
He'll make an impact right away.
And playing in the Big Ten in Michigan, I mean, he understands what the weather's going to be like in Cleveland and in that division.
No question about it. You look at Braylon Edwards, and it may sound like I've been bashing Bray. It's not the case. I had to separate Mike Williams and Braylon Edwards. It was a hard call. I went with Mike Williams. He's still on the board. Braylon isn't. He's a Cleveland Brown. He's got Kellen Winslow at tight end. Now you add Braylon Edwards to that.